Hello, welcome to Beer Right Back, the Lounge Beer Podcast.
Today we're doing 8 beers from Evil Twin Brewing Company. Bunch of different styles of beer. I'm looking forward to it.
Grab a couple of Evil Twin beers yourself and join us on this Evil Twin beer adventure.
We're starting off today with Breaking the Waves, a double dry hopped Imperial India Pale Ale with lactose.
Whoa!
Starting off with a weird one.
Wow, I can like really smell this beer from like a mile away.
Yeah, it's fragrant.
Did you say Northeastern IPA or just...
This is double dry hopped Imperial India Pale Ale.
That's a lot of adjectives there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like one or two too many. I agree.
All right, here we go, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers.
You get that lactose right away.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Ooh,
That's a good one. That's really smooth.
yeah, I agree. Without the lactose, it probably would be really, really hoppy, and it's just hoppy enough as it is with the lactose.
Right.
Really like
That's
mellows
perfect.
it out.
Yeah.
There's also like kind of a, I don't know, like a malty flavor
Right.
texture in there.
And that might also be from the lactose, just because lactose has kind of a milky, sweet flavor to it.
Yeah.
This is 10% ABV, and this is one of the few Evil Twin beers I was able to find an IBU on. This is 90 IBU.
90.
This tastes hoppy. I wouldn't taste 90 out of that.
Oh, hell no.
Oh.
Yeah. I would guess, if I had to guess, I would say like 65 or 70,
Right.
but not 90.
You really see what they mean about double dry hop. You get that really big,
Yeah.
that flavor of hop without the really strong bitterness out of it.
It's almost kind of got like a, I don't know, what is that, like orangey, fruity.
Yeah.
That's a really
Opaque.
interesting.
Looks like a Northeastern IPA.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of that Norwegian farmhouse style
Tombstone.
ale, that tombstone that we had. Yeah, this kind of strikes a lot of the similar notes
Right.
to me.
Fruity, creamy, hoppy without the super bitter.
This is good. I enjoy this.
Yeah.
We had one Evil Twin last week, and I enjoyed that one.
Right.
So I guess I'm not all that surprised that I'm enjoying this one as well.
I believe I've had one other Evil Twin beer. I can't remember what it was, and I don't recognize it out of any of the ones that we have this week.
Which is quite a few.
Right. Yeah. So maybe I haven't, or maybe I did, and it was one off. Their Wikipedia page, as we were just discussing before the show, is fascinating because I guess they are not like a brick and mortar brewery. In fact, I don't think they necessarily brew their beer themselves, but it seems like they commission other breweries to make the beers for them.
Oh.
But they develop the recipes. And it said that the one in Queens, they opened a location in Queens, and that was their first location
And when did they open that? Did you?
in January of this year, in 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's their first I guess their first store period.
Oh.
But they're out east, originally from Denmark. Weird stuff. Kind of a bizarre
Right.
story they have.
Yeah.
That's interesting though. It's sort of like crowdsourced beer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you kind of almost think like Kickstarter beer or
Yeah,
something
right.
like that. It seems kind of strikes me as a millennial. It strikes me as a very millennial thing
Yeah.
to have a bunch of people maybe not in the same location develop all of these different recipes and then
Right.
outsource the actual production. That would scare me as a brewer. If you had perfected all of these recipes and then you told somebody else to make it for you, I would kind of feel like I am at the mercy of this other person brewing the beer, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's also like, well, I guess the very like subtle variables that go into like brewing beer, like you just can't really like, you know, like observe and control all of those things. So like maybe like if there was one in Arizona, like it tastes like if we got the same exact beer, like one brewed in Arizona, one brewed in like Boston, how different would they taste?
Well, especially what I understand that water makes a huge difference in the flavor of a beer, the type of water you use. And that's why certain breweries in Germany are really famous, is because they're in this particular town that has this really specific water chemistry that changes the flavor of the beer. And I don't know how much of that is bullshit and it's just hype.
I will say that if there's one place that I'm not looking forward to the water going into the beer from, it's Queens.
Right. Yeah. Followed shortly by Phoenix.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We kind of have a butthole flavor to our beer. But Exclusively Phoenix tap water.
I'm getting sewer notes.
Hey, if you're from Queens, don't forget to write us and tell us what the tap water tastes like.
Tell us your favorite 4-letter word.
Yeah.
If you could send us a detailed report about the chemistry of the water in Queens, that'd be just dandy.
Yeah.
We will not pay you back, but well, thank you. Man, this is kind of hard. I feel like this beer is... I'll give it a 65. I don't think it's anything better than that.
Okay. Yeah. It's really interesting. It tastes almost like experimental, but at the end of the day, I don't think I'd be like, riding home about it.
Right.
Well, I guess I'd be making a podcast about it, but
Right.
yeah, maybe like a 65.
I'm going to say 70. I like this quite a bit. I really enjoy
Sean's
this.
in a good mood today.
Yeah, they caught me on a good day. Got out of bed on the right side today.
Usually the left, today the right.
That's right. This does... I'll give this one critique. I think I just took kind of a bigger sip and swallowed it and got a little bit of a peculiar aftertaste that I didn't love.
I've liked this beer less and less the more I've drank it.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Maybe something's happening with like stuff is like settling at the bottom.
Yeah,
It's that Queens water, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't react to the fresh mountain air here in Flag.
The sewage is more dense than the beer, so it sinks to the bottom. People in Queens are getting the right amount of fiber.
Yeah, that's right.
But that was still good. I like that. But,
Quality beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond all the jokes we just made. There's either someone in Queens going like, yeah, it's shit here, or someone like, no, we have a proud sewer facility.
We're proud of our water quality. Yeah.
No.
You were saying something before the show about the design
Oh,
of all of these bottles, but not just this one, but
I guess there's something, with that sort of like crowdsourced process. I have in my hands is it's a blank, like unpainted, messed with can. It's just like raw aluminum,
right.
Polished aluminum. But then what they do is they actually they put a sticker on it, which is I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like maybe that's like a growler thing, or
it kind of strikes you as more of a crowler or a growler that you would get at a brewery. Right? There's not much flair to it, and there's some design on the sticker itself, but it's pretty minimalistic.
I've actually seen this out of a couple of these breweries. It seems like it's almost always 16-ounce cans, but I've seen a couple, I think there's a couple breweries that do that on 12-ounce cans as well, but it seems like it's a really common thing on these 16-ounce cans to do these stickers on the front.
Okay.
I suspect it's substantially cheaper to just order these stickers and slap them on the front rather than have this whole extra process to your canning line.
Yeah. Well, it's probably you'd have to make 2 different lines essentially, and stickers probably easier. So, and you'd have to hire somebody to remake a whole new Photoshop file that fits the 16-ounce over
right. Yeah.
And all this other stuff. So,
what ABV was that, by the way?
That was 10%. A big beer.
That I was gonna say.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm kind of
feeling all 10%.
Yeah.
We're moving on. Our next Evil Twin beer is... I'm going to let Jeremy read the name of that one.
Ah, yes. I don't know if that's French, but it's like Ceci N'est Pas A Northeastern style IPA.
Yeah.
I
took the words right out of my mouth.
Poetry in motion.
Could it be Danish?
Perhaps.
It looks French.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I've never taken French or Danish, so I don't know.
Okay.
This is a double dry hopped, double India Pale Ale. So similar, no lactose, and it's not Imperial, quote unquote.
Oh.
So I don't know how much difference it's going to be, but
So what we first had was its weird cousin.
seems like it.
Okay.
So we had the weird cousin first, with no basis to.
It sounds like an Alabama family reunion.
Right. Yeah.
Or it's like
Let's just cut that out.
Well, I'm not cutting that out.
it's like if you learned French in Quebec first and then moved to France proper, and you were like, oh, everything is so much more understandable now.
I don't know enough about these languages to understand that joke.
You should talk to Adam.
Okay.
A resident Frenchman.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like beer.
Looks like it too.
Oh.
I'm mixing up glasses, but here you go.
Okay.
Well,
Gentlemen, cheers.
cheers. That's more hoppy and up front with the bitterness.
and fruitier.
Yeah.
With that, I don't know. This could be the exact same beer just without lactose, and maybe that lactose was covering up some of that fruitiness. But I get a lot more fruit out of this, and I like this even better.
Oh yeah.
Last one was a 70, but this is fantastic.
Yeah, I think I really don't know what like lactose was doing, but this just hits you in the face up front,
Right?
And it's more fruity and colorful and flavor, and I like it way more.
Yeah, it's almost what's the ABV on this? Oh, I'm holding it in my hand. Oh, 8.5. Yeah, so it's a little lighter. It's a little more refreshing.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe you're right that those lactose notes kind of cancel out the fruit that you would get out of the hops otherwise.
Yeah.
Because I really get a big like tropical fruit flavor out of this. Still opaque. I've got a little
Floaties?
Yeah, I got some detritus in the bottom of mine. I'll have you know, my sister, she was doing something for work and she was editing a document and it had the word detritus on it, and she just sent me this video of her doing this slow zoom into the word detritus. And I was like, Nick is gonna have a fucking hernia when he sees this.
Detritus.
I texted her back detritus with like all caps with like spaces.
Does anyone listening know what that is, or did we talk about that story?
Detritus?
The detritus debacle?
The
The
whole
candy story.
Yeah.
The detritus saga.
Well, the saga doesn't have to be a whole saga, but the story is that Sean offered me a candy out of his pocket one time, and it was a naked candy. It wasn't wrapped in like an individual hard candy plastic, you know, that you would normally get. He just pulled 2 naked candies out of his shirt pocket, and he said, "You want one?" And I said,
You took it? You said, yeah.
I took it, but I was concerned about the detritus. That I think it's insane that you would carry naked candies in your pocket, because the hard candy could get a little bit sticky, and then it picks up all of the stuff coating the inside of your pocket, whatever that may be, detritus. And I was surprised that you would offer someone a candy that could be filled with detritus.
You took it.
I did take it.
So how am I wrong here?
And at least like Adam, I did not say, well, I would take the candy, but then I would go wash off the candy in the sink first.
Adam thinks is offended enough about the detritus to go into a different room to go rinse it off in a sink, but not so concerned that he just says, "Oh no, thanks, I appreciate it." I feel like that's the easy way out of that situation. There are 4 responses to this. There's sure, thanks, and then you eat it. There's sure, what the fuck, like you, Nick. There's sure, thank you. Let me go fucking power wash this real quick. And then there's no thanks.
And he took the weirdest option.
Yeah, that really is like
that's the Seinfeld response.
Exactly. That was a previously 3 option question, and Adam found a 4th.
Yeah, no one was insane enough to think of that.
Well, let me just go put this in my bathtub for a minute.
Then he becomes the weirdo, even though you had naked candy in your pocket.
Exactly.
Who keeps naked candy in their pocket?
They came in a bag. They didn't have wrappers. I didn't unwrap them to put them in my pocket.
Okay, well, I guess my complaint then is with the manufacturer of the candy.
I agree. I think that's silly.
Yeah.
I don't want detritus on my candy.
But
I don't want to take the whole bag of candy with me.
Yeah, hard candy is one of those things where you want to take an individual 1 or 2 and throw them in your bag, right?
Should
you want
be
them
individually wrapped.
As much as I don't like packaging, I think for hard candies it makes sense.
It's necessary.
That is the use for individually wrapped.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me, I don't want to go on this for too long.
Oh, man.
Because we were drinking a very good beer here.
What did I do?
But the thing that gets me is like straws are already a single-use plastic, and then like thin cellophane, like plastic wrap is a single-use plastic. But then when you get a straw that's wrapped in plastic, it's like, are you trying to waste as much plastic as possible? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, again, I know they're trying to keep detritus off of your straw, but it just blows my mind that my single-use plastic comes wrapped in a single-use plastic.
Yeah. For an auxiliary product like a straw.
Right.
Nobody needs a straw.
Right.
Unless you are in your vehicle and you've got a slushie next to you.
And then you should have a straw.
Yeah.
Keep a straw in your vehicle.
A reusable straw, perhaps.
Right. That's what I mean.
Aluminum one.
Yeah.
That's an engineering solution right there.
Oh, they exist.
Oh, really?
They're common and they're very cheap on Amazon. Everyone at home listening, go buy yourself an aluminum straw.
And then sip your Evil Twin beer out of the reusable straw.
It's delicious.
Anyway,
And a little bit metallic, I would say.
Yeah.
that might be the Bronx water. This is actually like maybe we were talking about candy for 5 minutes, and that's what's throwing me off. But it's a very sweet, fruity beer.
I actually get like I just swallowed it and I got like a little hint of lemon flavor, and I really like that.
Oh, yeah.
I like kind of tastes like a lemon drop or something.
Yeah.
Back to the candy thing.
Yeah, lemon drop. I agree with that.
A nice naked right out of your pocket beer.
And I just drank the bottom with all the detritus, and yeah, I can confirm it tastes like a dirty fucking lemon drop.
You didn't want to wash that off in the bottom of the sink first?
I mean,
No, I
we
didn't.
will with these glasses
All right.
in the next couple of seconds here.
So, Sean, you gave the last one a 70, right? And
Hey, the last one is 70. I hesitate to give this an 80, but I'm kind of inclined to give this an 80. This is
Whoa.
very good. I really enjoy
You
this.
really woke up on the left side.
I would. I know I gave the last one a 65. I'd jump up to a 75 at least.
Yeah, I would go 75.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the Scrooge of this podcast, and then today it's just like I was visited by 3 Holy Spirits, and now I'm suddenly very kind and generous.
The holy spirits of beer.
Yeah, the beery spirits,
Oh, now I'm the
the
asshole.
holy beerits.
The holy.
Whoa.
I don't know.
They showed you like a future version of yourself. You were like
Where I
in
hated every beer I ever had.
You were like in a white T-shirt, and all you did like was sitting on your lounge chair. And,
my recliner with like a wife beater that's stained, and I'm just like throwing empty vodka bottles at Jerry Springer on TV.
There really is. So there's Jerry Springer, and then there's
Maury Povich,
right?
Yeah.
And I think about them like Jerry Springer is like the ABC or NBC of this sort of trash level show.
Right.
And then Maury Povich is the trash level of trash level shows. I don't know. I don't watch either of them, but that's like the interpretation.
that's the 7th level. That's the
Right.
bottom. You
Yeah.
don't go lower than that.
If you're on Jerry, you still got at least a level to go, right? But if you're on Maury Povich, you are fucked, my friend. It's just over, right? Nowhere else to go.
only upside is you can't get any lower, right? Like, can only look up.
That's right.
You could hit any of the buttons on your remote and find a.
Well, no, if you find yourself on the show.
Oh.
Think about if you found yourself on Jerry Springer. If somehow you had a life event that caused you to be on Jerry Springer's show, at least you could end up on Maury Povich's show and feel even shittier.
Okay. This is the beer podcast, everyone.
So far, we've talked about hard candies and Maury Povich.
Dude, I'm pleased to announce our next sponsor, Maury Povich. Watch the show on ABC at 8 o'clock.
Do you need a paternity test? Contact Maury at MauryPovich at AOL.com.
AOL.com.
He seems like an AOL kind of guy,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Dude,
That's AOL all the way.
Note to the editor: put some dial-up noises at the top.
Yeah, Jerry Springer is a kind of hot mail kind of guy,
Yeah.
but
Right.
Yeah.
Maury Povich is
You've
full
got
AOL.
mail.
Dude, at msn.com.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's where it's at. What are we doing?
What a weird fucking podcast we have for you today. We're moving on to Evil Twins, the Flava Influencer IPA. India Pale Ale
God. Are
brewed
all
with...
of these IPAs?
No, so this is our last IPA.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
We're moving into some lighter and then some less light fare.
Okay, perfect.
This is an interesting one. I'm really excited to try this. This was
Okay.
almost a mystery beer. Fortunately, there were
Crack
two
it, put it in my glass.
more interesting beers. This is an India Pale Ale brewed with oat and lactose with vanilla and pineapple added.
Whoa.
Oh my
You
god.
pour that shit.
It's a hell of a beer.
Sean.
I'm noticing that, like, you know that thing they say where, like, it's totally false, but they're like, yeah, alcohol warms you up.
Yeah.
I'd like, that's hitting me, and we haven't even, like, cracked into the
Well, to
third
be fair,
one yet.
the recording studio or the bar was a lot warmer today to
Oh,
start with.
yeah, maybe that's throwing me off. But still, that, like, 10%er, we just
Yeah,
threw back.
It's sitting heavy. Those two
Yeah.
IPAs are sitting a little heavy.
What okay, so we going back to the whole like sticker thing. This one's the most interesting so far.
Yeah.
The one in French had like a kind of like orange and like creamy yellow mosaic thing going on. This one is just like modernist like painting thing.
Lots of blue and orange and pink.
Pink, yeah.
Shall we?
Cheers.
That's not a very big flavor, is it?
No, much more subtle. Oh, the aftertaste is very good though.
Mm-hmm.
I can what was it, pineapple?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely taste that only during the aftertaste.
And the vanilla
right.
for me.
Yeah, the vanilla.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really see the vanilla.
That is an exceptionally smooth beer. You could drink about a dozen of these.
Yeah.
That's a very easy drinking IPA.
And almost 8%, 7.8%
Whoa.
ABV.
Yeah, you don't taste that at all.
Oh,
This
hell no.
tastes
This
like a
session.
5.
Yeah, almost.
That's kind of dangerous.
Right.
Dude, but I know we've brought up the whole 4th of July beers category. This is definitely on the top of the list there.
This is the 4th of July beer that you drink your first 3 beers. Because
Yeah.
this gets you fucked up.
Oh,
and
God.
then you move to all day
Yeah.
or blue College Street.
And yet, I will say that a lot of 4th of July beers are particularly one-noted. This strikes me as a thinking man's beer.
This
right?
is an intellectual's.
Right. There's
Yeah.
there's some complexity there, even though it's all kind of toned down.
Right.
It's kind of calm. There's a lot of undernotes of some random crap coming up. We talked about the pineapple and the,
Right.
the vanilla. Yeah.
This one's confusing me because it also has lactose in it, correct?
Right.
I thought lactose is just sort of a thing you threw in there to I don't know, make the texture of your beer kind of smooth out, but also the side effect being it downplays it. This is not as muted as the first one we had, where it just kind of tasted kind of like a gray, I don't know what this is kind of feeling.
Right.
This one is still pretty fruity and sweet and hoppy.
So oats, I understand, really affect mouthfeel, but lactose, I'm under the impression, lactose is mainly added as a sweet note. It heightens the sweet flavors in the beer and gives it a creamy, not creamy in mouthfeel, but creamy in flavor, kind of a milky flavor.
Yeah.
Because it's lactose, right?
Yeah.
And as a result, I think it's typically used in stouts, chocolate stouts and stuff.
Oh.
That lactose gives it a creamy, milky flavor.
Mm-hmm.
These are some of the first IPAs I've ever seen that have lactose in them, which
Yeah.
is a pretty interesting flavor.
Yeah. I'm a fan of lactose and IPAs because of this sold only this beer so far,
Right.
but wow.
I agree. This is by far, I think, the best one that we've had so far from Evil
Yeah.
Twin.
This pushes it up into an 80 for me. Am I insane? Or
Well, give me a couple more sips.
Well,
I got a little bit more beer to go, but I'm trending towards that area for sure.
And again, I don't want to jump the gun here, but I actually might disagree with you guys. I think I really like that last one, and this is good, and I am finding it hard to find a fault in it, but I feel like I would gravitate more towards this last, the one that I'm not going to try to even pronounce the name.
yeah, that's fair.
More of a 75, not an 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not quite powerful enough. I hate feeling like when we talked about the Yeti Imperial Stout all those episodes ago now,
Right.
way back in the past,
Way back 2 episodes ago.
1995, you know the type. I really liked that beer, and I think I liked it more than either of you. And I felt like I liked it because it was so strong and powerful. It was and at a certain point, I feel like I overrate those kind of beers, and I need to try to steer more towards a subtle flavor. Because I enjoy that too, and I feel like this is definitely subtle. It might just be a little too subtle.
And that's why I think I prefer this last one, is because it felt a little louder without being obnoxious. Where this is very good. It's a little subtle.
Mm-hmm.
It is very on your first taste, in the middle of your tongue, this is almost bland. There's not a whole lot there. But then the aftertaste is where this really comes into its own, where it has this really complex, really delicious aftertaste. I would like a more whole mouth experience.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me, it's sort of the other IPA that's in an 80 for me is the Tower Station, and that's a little stronger and more up front.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm part of the mindset where I'm looking for something more subtle. You said it as a joke, the thinking man's beer.
Right.
That's funny, but
it takes a second to get to those flavors.
really
it does.
It makes you work for it.
This is, I guess, one that's if I had like a nice quiet evening, this would be like a nice like by a campfire or by the hearth kind of beer.
Yeah.
I don't want to tease anything too soon, but I would drink this on the beach. This is a good sitting.
This is a good beach beer.
Yeah, relaxing.
Well, it does have that like fruitiness in it, and that's
right.
Reminds me of
easy drinking,
palm trees and
wide
open.
I'm gonna force you to
commit.
Give a rating.
Oh, I mean, I said 80.
Oh, okay. You're staying at 80.
I'm gonna stay at 8.
Right, Sean.
I'm gonna give it a 77. This is good. I like it slightly less than the last one.
Yeah, I would give it. I'm tied between an 80 and a 75. I'll give it a 75.
Okay, so 77.
Yeah, this is really good.
It's a good beer.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad that we're done with the IPAs. Though.
Yeah. We're gonna have one real nice light transition beer, and then we're going right back into the thick of it.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm excited.
You guys are gonna. This episode is great. These are some really. I'm impressed with the quality of Evil Twin. On top of the fact that they have some really interesting styles that are yet to come that I'm really looking forward to. So this is a great episode.
I will say that on average, so far, our ratings are much higher than any other episode that we've had so far.
That's definitely true. And I also feel like, is it just me or like we're kind of doing these kind of fast? Like
they're good.
Yeah,
I sort of thought of that too. I looked over here at the computer at the timing of where we're at right now, and I said to myself, "Man, we're kind of like moving through these. Kind of like I think we're on schedule. At the same time, I feel like we just chugged through those. They were good. All of them were good. Even the one that we gave a 65, that first one.
I'd have a second one of those.
Right.
Like, it's
exactly.
weird. Maybe because it's warming up and like how things naturally do when they are hotter.
I think that the more episodes that we do, we'll find ourselves in a situation where we generally trend towards better beer. I think that a lot of the beers that we had in these first 4 episodes, half of the beers in any particular episode were not altogether that great.
Yeah.
And if we find a good brewery like Evil Twin and we have a lineup of 8 of them, they're all going to be really good, and we're going to want to drink them really fast because they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good crack. I hope that made it on.
So what is this beer, Sean?
It's purple.
I'm going to serve it to you before I tell you. I want you to try this before I tell you.
That's the most interesting color I've seen in this whole.
This has got to be a sour.
Yeah.
I'm excited for a sour. After that,
Modern Times.
Dude, I was thinking about that beer all week.
Every time I was in a store, I was looking out for it, and I was upset every time because they weren't there.
When I was putting the ratings up on Untappd and Beer Advocate, I remembered very fondly that beer.
Yeah.
It's really good,
dude.
Am I having a stroke? What are you guys talking? What beer?
The Modern Time sour that we had last episode.
I'm gonna have to.
the passion fruit and guava.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That's a good.
I have good news, gentlemen.
Okay, all right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God.
What? Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's excellent.
That's a good fucking beer.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I don't want to suck Evil Twin off too hard. This is a great fucking beer.
This is definitely
80 plus. Easy,
dude,
above 80 for me. This that has to be one of like the most interesting, complex, and yet easy drinking beers I've had in this entire series so far.
This is is for Elderberry. Gose style ale brewed with salt and elderberry added.
Oh man, you know how like when you're eating like raspberries or something like that.
Real quick. You are the first person I've ever heard call it a raspberry.
I pronounce that way because I'm kind of in the bag right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I don't usually say raspberry, but like it's that kind of like when you're chewing on like one of those. I'm afraid to say it again. And then like you like kind of bite into one of the really like fine seeds and it like releases that somewhat like acidic.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that in liquid form, and it's amazing.
Perfect. Yeah.
That is such a rich berry flavor that you don't normally get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. This is not like a chemical, like a simulated flavor.
Yeah.
It's such a full. I don't want to quote myself from earlier, but this is a very full mouth beer. This is like from the second it touches your tongue until 5 seconds after you swallow it. This is a full body experience. This is like a really, really rich flavor. It's like completely envelops your mouth.
The complaint that I have about other sours most of the time is that they're too strong. They're bright and they're fruity, but they have nothing else. There's no. I don't want to say savory because this isn't savory, but there's a little bit of that kind of like seed flavor, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of earthy underneath the fruit.
Organic flavor.
Right. This has that. It really is perfect because from the first moment you drink it, you get kind of an immediate sour, and then after that, it's bright fruit elderberry, and then after that, it's more of a
darker, full mouth flavor. This is as sour as I ever want a beer. Any more sour than this, and that seems to me to be like the overpowering flavor is just that my mouth is turning inside out. But this is like the right amount of sour, excellent flute flavor. Tastes just like a wind
instrument.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jeremy.
I fucked up me fucking up my sentence. This is an excellent beer.
Yeah. I'm like honestly like astonished that this came out of a can and not straight from like a cask in like some like German dude's farm. Like this is crazy.
I don't even know what to say. It's really good.
Yeah.
This is as close to a 90 I think we've ever gotten. I don't know if we'd give it a 90.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I got a couple left here. I hope you got 4 of these.
What's that?
I hope you got 4 of these.
I didn't, but I know where they sell them.
Okay, all right, good.
But yeah, I guess I'm still stuck in like the honeymoon period. But
exactly.
Jesus Christ, like I wish there was 4 of these.
I haven't gotten a chance to get the heartburn yet from the sour.
This is an excellent beer.
It's a really like very reddish, pinkish color. Clear white head.
I guess one of my fears is that if I were to have like a can of this beer every day, it would get a little like the novelty would wear off because I don't think I've ever had a beer that tasted like this before. And so if I got used to it,
this is the sour that ruins sours for you.
Yeah,
which I mean can really only be to its credit, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Like it's I'd put it in like one of those like every once in a while sours or beers in general. Yeah. Like I wouldn't like save one in my fridge, but if I was feeling good one day, I'd buy it and bring it home.
It is very acidic. And I feel like if we were all drinking a full 16-ounce can of this
by the end,
it might get a little overwhelming.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of what I mean is this is the upper limit for my sour beer sourness. I agree completely. If I had one of these every day, I would get tired of the sour. If I had a full can, I might get tired of the sour. If this was 10% less sour, I think this would easily be one of the best beers I've ever had in my life. As it is, it's a
damn good,
phenomenal beer.
You really hit the nail on the head with that raspberry note and the seed.
Yeah.
It really is something that I've never ever tasted in a sour before.
Yeah, I don't know how they achieved that. Really,
really, how do they do that?
You would think more brewers would use. The only thing I can think is that they threw mashed elderberries into the fermenter with this beer, but you would think that's how almost every brewer makes a fruit flavored sour. So I don't know what they did differently that makes it such a rich flavor. That's ridiculous.
Wow. See, we talked about how we sped through the other 3 beers. Yeah. And now I'm wanting to savor this one, knowing that there is no more of it.
I'm almost the opposite, where I'm just like downing this just because it's so tasty.
This reminds me of my argument to people who don't like beer.
There's a beer for everyone.
Definitely.
If this exists and it's available at a local shop in, Arizona, if you are in a major city, the availability of good beer, if you want to find one, it's there. You just got to find it. I could give this to people who have never enjoyed a beer in their life, and they would love this beer.
Right. We ready to rate?
I'd give it an 85.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'd trend higher, but I don't know, like given that one critique, that like nitpick of I couldn't drink 10 of these in a row, like
Right.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but still, what an like maybe like 87 just to like be
Right.
a guy who's always rates high, but
85 it is.
So this is the highest rated beer that we've ever had.
I just hope that
Damn, it's so good.
I just hope that that sours don't always like reach that
Don't worry.
area. I don't know. I've just noticed that we've rated high whenever a really good sour is coming up.
We've had 2 sours.
Oh, what was the other mystery beer? That we had?
We've had the Modern Times,
Uh-huh.
which was and this one.
Okay, never mind then. I don't
So,
care.
yeah.
Sorry.
And both of those are good. We knew the Modern Times was going to be good, and this could have been bad, but this was really good.
2 excellent sours. I was gonna call Big Blue Van.
That is a
Big-
wheat beer.
Right. Big Blue Van is. I kept thinking Big Blue Van just because it's fruity,
It is not.
not a sour.
Nope.
So don't worry about that.
Okay.
We'll have a sour coming up at some point in the next couple episodes. On to the bigger beers.
Just as a side note, I don't want to make this next. It's sort of like when you go up for a group presentation, and the group before
Where the
you.
fuck are you going?
No, I know exactly what he's talking
The
about.
group before you, your group is presenting next.
They blow it out
and
of the water.
and they're like, they have straight A's. They're gonna be like the summa cum laude of their group.
Yeah.
And then you go up, and your presentation may be very good, but by comparison, you are worried that the professor is gonna give you a worse grade because you are in comparison to them.
I see.
Dude. Okay.
I don't want that to happen. I
Right.
want a clean slate.
And
Take
this
a
is
moment.
a very different beer.
Right.
We're shifting gears pretty
Drastic.
dramatically.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So let's all take a breath. Cleanse the palate. Think really hard about how much you enjoy chocolate.
Oh. So Chocolates comes to mind, as it always does.
I think of that Choco Mountain level in like one of the Mario.
Oh, is the N64 version of
exactly. It's not a flavor, but I think of that when I think of chocolate.
I want you guys to watch me pour this because this is motor oil.
That's actually the exact.
Whoa!
That was the
Look
exact
at the stream. It's
descriptor I was gonna use after we were done talking. I was like,
Damn.
that looks like motor oil, and you beat me to it.
sorry. The head does not persist for very long, but look at the color of this head.
That's dark.
You know a beer is dark when the head is like chocolate brown.
What's the name of this beer?
This is Big Ass Money Stout.
And
Guys,
it's got pizza and dollars on it. What more is there to say? Cheers.
Cheers.
holy fuck.
Oh man.
Wow.
Now I'm going to look to see what the beer I saved for last is, because Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
Do you know what the ABV is on this? Because you didn't write it down.
Holy shit. If you had to guess, go ahead and guess.
That's at least a 10.
Oh, dude.
I'm guessing a 10.
Oh, like
10.5.
15. Jesus Christ.
17.2. I did not realize that when I bought this. I would have made this last if I realized that.
17%? Are you kidding me?
What a rich fucking beer, though.
Oh my god.
I'd like to excuse myself from the people listening, but
Sean! Holy fuck! Oh my god. I would have made this last. I didn't realize. I didn't even look at it.
Oh,
Holy shit. I don't taste 17%.
I taste 10.
I taste 10. This is a stout. This is a
very-
alcoholic
an alky stout.
This is an alky stout. But I would not have guessed. I would have guessed half of 17 before I guessed 17.
yeah. It does a great job of hiding that.
Good job,
It's-
Jeremy.
It's
no,
there
there
so
was-
chocolatey.
there was something
Yeah.
like, I don't know what, but there was just something in like putting my nose up against the glass. I was like, how close can I get to like like liquor levels of alcohol content without being called like a fucking psychopath. Like, so 50%.
You were close.
Like, yeah.
Jesus.
I wish this had more of a head. I will say. So I'm a big fan of dark beers that have like a full, rich head on them.
Yeah.
You know, like I like a creamy beer like that.
And here's my retort: the alcohol content actively deteriorates head, and at 17%, I think it's damn near impossible to get a head that stays for any length of time.
Yeah.
But that would be nice.
I've had beers that are 12 and a half that have had a really strong head.
Right.
So I don't know.
I gotta read the description on the can for this. 2 old friends and brewers decided to go crazy together once again. This time, they met stateside to brew a rich, over-the-top, and unique stout. Guaranteed to impact your taste buds, this big-ass stout contains 2 essential ingredients that unite Stavanger and New York. And they don't say what the...
I don't understand why they have pizza on the label.
I would not eat this.
Yeah.
That was kind of why I put this first over the other stout. I'm sorry, over the other beer. Because the pizza kind of made me think like, this is a lighter, closer to a porter or something. Fucking Christ.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would never drink this with a pizza?
God, no.
Good Lord. This is a cigar beer.
This is a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's your dessert. Just this can.
Oh my God.
Could you have 16 ounces of this?
I
No.
couldn't drink that. I'm having trouble drinking this.
That's like drinking a 120 minute.
I knew it was bad when I opened this. Good. I don't you know. I knew it was rough when I opened this, and I got like a drop on the counter here, and I tasted it, and I was like, holy shit, that is like the biggest beer I've ever tasted in my life.
What's the ABV on 120 minute?
18, I believe. So this is a 120.
Boy.
But in contrast, a 120 minute tastes so boozy. It tastes like you're
And this
drinking
is-
alcohol.
This is boozy, but it doesn't taste that
This
boozy.
tastes like boozy. Like if you made this tastes like if Kahlua was chocolate instead of coffee. That's what this tastes
I was
like.
going to mention Kahlua. Like,
I keep taking it from you.
I'm sorry, but it's just like,
You're apologizing. You should be.
I'm the dick.
yeah, I don't know. But like, goddamn, like this is, I don't know what else to say. Like, this is a liquor, like,
It's very sweet.
or a liqueur.
It's boozy, but it's so chocolatey. It has such a big flavor. I don't want to keep using big.
Big.
Yeah, but it's like
That's what the word I would use.
heavy.
This
It's big,
defines big.
the biggest beer I've ever had.
Full stop.
Hands down.
Right.
I'm like, I like dark beers, and this is like reaching my limits.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean it's good though?
I have no idea.
I love this beer. I really like this beer.
I really like this beer too. I sort of think to myself, is it too much? Right? I love 120 minute. When we rate 120 minute on this episode, I will give it at least a 90. But I think that a beer it's beer. At a certain extent, when you get to these upper echelons of beer, right? You got 18, 20% beers. Can you really even call it a beer? It's so strong. When I reach for a beer, I don't expect a percent that high.
But now I wouldn't reach for this beer all the time,
Right.
and I don't want to deduct how much I enjoy it because I don't want it every day. This is not an everyday beer. This is a couple times a year beer. This is
Right.
like
Yeah.
special event beer or something.
Well, and we've talked about this before in that bigger stout should not be subtracted from because you wouldn't have it every single day.
Right.
You wouldn't have more than one can of it. What I will say is that them putting it in a can this large.
That was an evil mood.
So
or move.
so that's sort of like the premise from the brewer, right? If you ship in this kind of can, that's like the serving size, right?
Sure.
It's sort of, it may not be stated, but that's sort of the presumption, is that whatever a person reaches for a can of beer, they're going to drink the whole thing. I do not want to drink that much of this beer. I don't want to drink 16 ounces of this
Right.
beer. It's too strong.
Well, and in bars, at least in Arizona, if something is over, I think it's 9 or 10%. If it's over that limit, it must be served in 10-ounce servings. They're not allowed to give you a pint of something this boozy. You can order 2 10-ounce servings, but...
And Arizona is somewhat towards the more conservative side of that. It's not Utah, but it's also not,
Right. I think that's a pretty common law, that it's around 10%. You have to serve it in 10 ounces rather than 16 ounces. For this reason. I mean, you don't want somebody getting a pint of this and thinking, well, I just had one beer and I can drive home.
You would not drive home after one.
I don't know if I'm driving. I mean, we're having more beers, but I'm not driving home after.
If you just had this much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a boozy beer. Like, I really didn't get it at first, but the more you drink it, I'm starting to
We've hit a stop.
Yeah. This is oh my god. And there's like 3 more after this.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys that the next ones are less than 17% alcohol.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you could guess that.
Naturally.
I have bad news.
No, stop, Sean. Sean,
I love this beer.
Oh my god.
why is it that every single time you're bartender,
I didn't mean to do this.
You fuck us over.
Okay. So
I like Jeremy's hair is my meter for how drunk I am. Because Jeremy's hair slowly gets more and more insane, and I'm like, God, if Jeremy looks like that, I must be fucked up.
This is like a weird, like, this like wildly fluctuates between like a straight 40 and like a weird 75. Like, I have no idea where this beer lands because it's so like, I applaud them for doing this thing super well. Like,
right.
They were like, we're not going to make it marketable. We're not going to like make it easy to drink. We're just going to do like the best damn fucking stout we can.
Right.
And holy shit, like they like hit the nail on the head with this one.
Yeah.
They had no reservations. This is just like an avant-garde beer through and through.
This is a fuck it beer.
Yeah.
Right? From the brewer's standpoint.
Yeah.
This is
you've been broken up with, your cat has died, and your mom has died.
right. This is you're like, well,
Fuck it.
here we are. How fast can I get drunk without drinking booze? Because I would be depressed if I drank booze. So as long as I drink beer, I'm not depressed. So I'm going to drink this. That's 20 fucking %.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drink 16 ounces of it.
Given that, I agree with you, Jeremy. I would give this beer an 80. I think it's really hard to have a percent that high and still have it taste so chocolatey.
Okay.
I want to give credit to the brewer on this one in that
This is a delicious beer.
it really is. It's a struggle to drink, and I wouldn't want to drink 16 ounces of it. But at the same time, I feel like for what it is and how quickly it can get you fucked, it is really tasty.
Yeah.
You know, I was tempted almost to disagree with you on like the serving size, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I drank 16 ounces of this. I just finished my third of this, which is 5 ounces.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. I'm pretty happy with my amount that I just had. I'm going to give this an 80. This is a great beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Given your 2 responses, I know this is like metadata that I should be ignoring when I'm reviewing a beer, but it's like, yeah, it's a bit of a toss-up between 75 and an 80. 70s being the range of like, it's good, experimental, but also there's some problems with it.
Right.
80 reaching that like sort of god tier beer, or at least like starting the path towards
exceptional beer.
Yeah. But no, like 80.
Somehow, I've been the first to finish all of these beers. You guys are slowing
wimps.
down a little bit. Maybe it's because I'm standing. My metabolism is a little faster.
Yeah.
It really is Kahlua, isn't it?
There's like a kind of like milky, sweet thing on the back end of this that reminds me of Kahlua. There's like no separating that fact.
Yeah. I will say that Evil Twin's range from these 2 beers alone is insane.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, just again, like my applause to the brewer for not having like their typical flagship beer.
Right. Yeah.
They've just for most of these, they've just gone full out on what they want to do. Like, it's crazy how
like I sort of associate Founders with a darker beer, and I associate Dogfish Head with a more hoppy, well, boozy, but still a more hoppy beer. I think that most breweries have like a niche that they fill. And with those two beers, I think that Evil Twin has the broadest range of any brewery that I can think of right now.
Next up is Bozo beer.
This is the last beer in the 6-pack, right?
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that an $8 can right there? $9.
$8.89.
Oh my goodness. And well, my first impression is it is also almost as motor oily as the last one.
It's exactly the same.
Oh no. What have I signed up for?
Now I'll say that the scent is very different on this.
I'm hoping it's very different.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
I get no boozy scent out of this. The head color, however,
the exact same.
it's exactly the same. Gentlemen,
Cheers.
Cheers.
Jesus.
Oh man.
That is very different
Yeah. But
in flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Still very dark and strong.
but there's like this like dry kind of like not dry as in like it's got more alcohol in it, but like dry as in like
You're spot on.
The flavor profile, like it like kind of rolls over the tongue and like is its initial flavor profile.
Last one was very creamy. It felt like it coated your whole mouth.
Mm-hmm.
This is, it's like you taste it and it's a big flavor and then it's kind of just falls off your tongue. If you guys had to guess ABV,
I would guess 8.5.
10.
17.2.
Oh,
What? Wait, what? Really?
17.2. Read them.
Sean, you can go fuck yourself.
I didn't mean to do it, man.
all right.
I fucking hate the Eagles, man.
I went and grabbed. They had 10 Evil Twin beers. I grabbed 8 of them at random, and I wanted to get some IPAs and some stouts, so I just grabbed their stouts.
17.5?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This does a better job of hiding that than the last one.
Yeah. Wow.
I almost disagree. So now to me this has a really big coffee flavor. Like right off the bat.
Definitely.
My whole tongue is just like espresso. And I think maybe my tongue is confusing that with alcohol flavor just because it's so bitter. It's such a big flavor. But I really get like a really significant alcohol flavor off this, where the last one was almost just chocolate all the way. And then further drinks, you got a little like a kick of alcohol. But this, right off the bat, it has that flavor. It kind of kicks me in the teeth with a little bit of, again, a combination of alcohol and coffee.
What I will say about this beer is that in comparison to the last one, it is gone out of your mouth much faster.
Yeah.
You don't have to chew on it.
Right. Yeah. The other one was like whether you wanted to or not, you had that flavor in your mouth for a solid 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And this beer finishes much faster. It's much drier. There's no back note. It's all up front, and it is a lot of coffee. I think that coffee is a harder flavor to hide alcohol behind of. And for that reason, I think this does a better job of hiding all of that.
Okay.
Not that hiding is good or that hiding is something that you should aim for while brewing beer. But when you drink this, I don't get 17%.
You know what's funny is I just took a sip and I got like a really hot alcohol flavor out of it.
Yeah, when you drink this and then you exhale, you can kind of feel the ethanol like leaving your body.
Right. It's a warm. It's like you just drank whiskey and you exhale and it's very warm in your throat.
And that way, I kind of regret comparing the last one to Kahlua because I didn't know it was coming up ahead. But this is like almost spot on.
This is Kahlua.
Kahlua. But as a beer with way less alcohol content, I'm assuming, than Kahlua.
About half.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I enjoyed this one much more.
Than the last one?
Probably.
Oh,
just because like it seems like, I know I just said like, oh, you could feel the ethanol in it, but I guess as someone who does enjoy that feeling, it's it's a lot more like easy to get into. Like the ceiling of like more like experience in drinking is a lot lower than just like this super upfront chocolatey feeling that was the big ass money stout. So
I'm gonna read you guys the note on the side of the can. And what's funny is I want to get your ideas first. What does this taste like to you? Because I really get just a big coffee flavor, and then I didn't get a lot else. What do you guys get?
The best I can say is that it's earthy.
Okay.
It's almost like dirt to me.
I get that.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I almost associate that with coffee, but I get that too.
But there's a different thing.
Right.
There's a difference between dirt and coffee.
Well, and what I mean is like I get like a really strong coffee flavor, but I see exactly what you're saying. And to me, it almost tastes like just drinking black coffee, where there's that kind of like
graininess.
Yeah, I get that too.
Oh, this I've been drinking a lot of like instant coffee, like the freeze dried coffee that you just pour into hot water and you forget about it. not only Folgers, but like so like
non-name brand.
Yeah, I have like 3 of them at home right now.
Disgusting.
I'm switching between.
How dare you?
And it kind of tastes like the one that looks like it's from the 90s because I just found it in the cupboard and I already bought like some freeze dried coffee and I was like, oh, why did I buy freeze dried coffee? I have this one from the 90s. But it tastes like kind of an old coffee.
Right.
I mean, like, obviously when I first drink it, I'm like, that's coffee. But it also, like, there's something else inside of it that's like, it's like kind of metallic, earthy, as Nick said, kind of like dirt. I don't know. It's a weird mix between coffee and something else. And
right. I'm going to read this to you. And what's funny is I didn't get any of these flavors on my own except coffee. But reading this, I completely I get 90% of these. There's like half a dozen different flavors on here. But I want you to I'm gonna read these and I want you to think about it and see if you can get a little bit of that. Enjoy this rich, ridiculous, screwballish Imperial Stout with hints of molasses. Maybe a little bit of molasses.
Molasses, I feel, is a longer lasting flavor.
But do you when you taste this, do you get a little hint where you're like, I see a little molasses in that?
Maybe.
Only because they mentioned it. I never would have thought of it.
Well, again, so I wouldn't have thought of most of these. But when they say it, I'm like, maybe there's a little bit of that there. And maybe it's confirmation bias. Maybe I'm just thinking it's there.
Right.
But that sweet flavor that I mentioned earlier, that creamy, sweet flavor, that might be coming from a molasses thing.
Lactose.
Oh. Definitely.
There's lactose.
Yeah.
Lactose, yeah.
Chocolate, of course. We get a little bit of chocolate. Almond. You guys get a little almond? There's a little almond in that. I get a little.
Let me taste this again.
Again,
I don't really know what almond tastes like, so
right.
As someone who isn't allergic to nuts, I still disagree.
I should have checked if any of these had allergens in them.
Well, it's almost impossible. The breweries don't do that. So.
Well, and even if it was a peanut beer, the likelihood that you would have enough of it in a beer that you would
is unlikely.
Yeah, right.
But
I get, and again, I know 100% they're telling me there's almond in it, so now I'm seeing it. The problem is I've had beers in the past where they're like, this has hints of raspberry, and I get no raspberry out of it.
Don't say raspberry. I just want another.
E is for elderberry. If you mix these. Or not this one, but the last one.
God.
And E is for elderberry. You'd have a nice sour stout.
It's gonna be trash.
Oh, I bet it would be pretty good.
Anyway,
never mix beer.
Hazelnut? You guys get hazelnut? I get a little hazelnut.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple hazelnut coffees in my history of drinking coffee.
Is that what that dirt kind of earthy flavor is? Is that what that trash flavor is in this beer?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's usually you get hazelnut in your creamer. Am I wrong?
Right. Yeah. It's a common coffee.
Yeah. I'd say it's more of that when you go to Starbucks and you get a sweet coffee, hazelnut kind of touches upon that lighter, sweeter flavor, and now that Sean has mentioned it, that is exactly the thing I'm thinking of.
I'll agree with that.
Okay.
There is a lighter, sweeter flavor amongst this kind of
dark,
earthy tone. Yeah.
Vanilla bean.
Sure.
Little vanilla.
Yeah, a little
Might
vanilla.
as well.
Little hint
throw
of
that
it.
in there. Yeah, fine.
Cinnamon. I get no cinnamon.
Hell
no,
no.
no cinnamon.
No cinnamon.
That's insane.
Oak spiral. So they mean like an oak, like a
Okay.
little oaky flavor. I don't get any oak,
We're starting to get into the
but we're coming back.
Okay, I have
the pinky
okay.
raised section of.
I have a
flavors.
bullshit meter, and the oak spiral is touching upon that.
Why did they not just say oak? I don't know why.
If they said oaky, I'd be like, sure. If oak
Maybe.
tastes like dirt, fine. Like, but oak spiral, come on.
But, and here we start to come back. Chili.
Chili. Oh,
I get a little chili flavor, a little, and maybe it's just the alcohol combined with some of these other flavors. But I get a little chili.
I agree.
heat.
I agree with you, Sean, but that's because I think it's like chili kind of like numbs your tongue a little bit and like
Sure.
does some things to you.
The question here is not, are you objectively like in your third eye, do you sense some that they put chili in this? The question is like, now thinking about the flavor, do you get like a little chili flavor?
Sure,
I do.
it does. Yeah.
No.
Sure.
It's so subtle that it's only because they mention chili now that
And here's one you're gonna make fun of me for because I totally get this.
okay.
Marshmallow.
I
get a little marshmallow.
okay. So the Rickety Cricket does like a weird like I forget what it's called.
But Stay Puffed.
Yeah, Stay Puff. This does have like a sort of Stay Puff texture to it that reminds me of Oreo insides or marshmallow.
Right.
Not a whole lot, obviously, but
Muscovado sugar.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
Does
we're done with this can.
Does anyone here know what Muscovado sugar is?
No.
I don't either.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't know what it tastes
Yeah.
like. And coffee.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Okay, this is bullshit because coffee is the largest flavor in this beer.
Of course.
And it should be first in the labeling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, I was surprised at how many of those I got upon reading it. And of course, it's just because I'm reading it and I'm going, yeah, I get a little bit of that. But it's kind of interesting. I think the more beer you drink, the more of those flavors you get.
Come out. Yeah.
Right. And it's interesting. I don't know about you guys. I feel like I don't want to say it's because we've been doing 5 podcasts, but I have
We're
noticed.
experienced.
Yeah. I feel like I have noticed a change in my. Here's where I sound like a douche. On top of me going, yeah, I taste a little Muscovado sugar.
I taste a little moss in there.
Yeah. Is there moss in this? Rope? Is there rope? Here's where I sound like a douche. I have noticed a difference in my palate, like in my ability to detect different flavors since we've started this podcast.
Yeah.
I've been drinking beer for a long time, and the extent of that for me previously has been like, I think this has this kind of hop in it, right? Where now I drink this and I'm like, you know what? I think I get a little marshmallow out of that, even if no one else does, even if it's just because I read it on the can. I see their rationale for thinking that. Where
Yeah.
previously beer, breweries would say this has notes of cherry, and you're like, there's no fucking cherry in this. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, you know what? I think I'm starting to get that.
Given all of that, I think I will be the asshole and say that this is no more than a 70.
Yeah. This is a hard one, especially given the last one we just had, the Money Stout.
It's sort of like the Stouts episode when we had that English Stout.
Oh, the potato one?
We had a potato stout.
Or what was it? A breakfast stout? I don't know.
Breakfast
English?
Stout. Yeah. It was an English Stout, and it's a little bit weaker, and it's a little bit more
Yeah.
drinkable. Yeah, I can see that.
Somewhere in there. I don't know. It's kind of like one of that presentation thing where like the guys that went last were like, in this case,
Yeah.
kind of like weird, and so like the teacher would be like, well, it wasn't as bad or as good as the last one, but I'll rate it higher,
Yeah.
like kind of thing.
Back to what we said previously about like, I've never had this before, so therefore it's good.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had a stout that big and that well executed in terms of like hiding alcohol and chocolate and stuff. So
Yeah.
therefore I rate it high.
Uh-huh.
This one I feel like is a more
was a-
typical,
that was a good
really
beer,
big
though.
stout, but it's well made.
That was a good beer, not a good like Kahlua
Right.
substitute. I'm tempted to knock the other one down to my 75 and this one up to an 80 because this actually was a really good stout. Like, not gonna lie. And I think the high of riding off of, wow, this is a really interesting like dark beer like thing for the last one kind of threw me off. I'd give this one an 80 and the last one a 75 because it was too strong. But this one, subtle enough for me to enjoy it. I don't know what that means to you.
Yeah. I'm more likely to order the big ass money stout. I like this less than the last one. And in fact, I think I would sooner order one of our IPAs than this one.
I mean, naturally.
So I'm going to rate this. I'm kind of split between 75, 80. I'm going to say 77 for that.
You rated an 80?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we're rating this one a 75.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 70.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Well, that's it for our 6-pack. We're going to take a break.
Really
We'll come
long
back.
break.
We got a little brewing news, and then we're going on to our mystery beers, also from Evil Twin Brewing. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Be Right Back. We're going to get you into some brewing news, but first, Sean has a point about the last 6 beers that we've had.
I'd like to bring some more attention to the fact of Evil Twin's different way of brewing. Here I was reading some of their cans, and I'm noticing a few different breweries, and I'd like to give some attention to them since they're the ones who did the brewing of these beers.
Right.
E is for Elderberry,
Which is the highest beer we've
the
rated.
winner of the night.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Brewed by Westbrook Brewing Company in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Big Ass Money Stout. Brewed by Westbrook Brewing Company. Congratulations.
Top 2.
And Bozo beer.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe this is less dramatic than I thought. The Flava Influencer
which
IPA.
was the sort of thinking man's IPA.
Brewed by Dorchester Brewing Company in Boston, Massachusetts.
The Italian
Also,
IPA that we can't really pronounce.
Ceci N'est Pas A Northeastern style IPA. Also brewed by Dorchester Brewing Company, Boston, Massachusetts. And finally, they did Breaking the Waves as well. So I guess only 2 brewers.
Well,
but interesting.
Interesting that 3 from one brewery are all on top in our ratings.
Right.
And the other 3 are on the bottom.
You're almost tempted to say the 3 IPAs belong together. So, of course, we rated them the same. But then it's funny that the sour is on top beyond these really intense stout. So it kind of breaks that style a little bit.
I think that has a lot more to do with brewery than anything else.
Right.
I think it shows that they're brewing. Not to say that the IPAs were brewed by somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Those were good beers, and we rated them as good beers. But there's something exceptional going on at the South Carolina brewery.
As we talked during the break, I think it says a lot about Evil Twin that we rated them. The lowest rating we gave Evil Twin was a 65. Right. And a 65 compared to the other beers that we've had on this podcast is pretty damn good.
Well, it is at least middle of the pack.
Exactly.
Right?
And, I mean, we rated Breaking the Wave as our lowest beer today. I would drink that any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great beer.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I think it says a lot to Evil Twin that you are able to make this quantity of beer that is this good, this high level. On to brewing news.
Brewing news.
I have a piece. Nick has a piece.
Short segment.
Yeah. Woman drank 6-pack of beer in Target dressing room. Very tangentially brewing news.
But not brewing news.
But what a hero to us all. Police say they arrested a woman who left a Target in Lathrop with more than $200 in stolen merchandise. But before she left, they say, Alicia Johnson spent an hour in a dressing room drinking a 6-pack of Stella Artois.
You're going to get arrested over Stella?
Stella. That was worth 6-pack.
That's very
apparently.
unfortunate. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Did she have the knife to kind of shove off most of the head on top of that?
in her chalice?
I mean, like,
that's really dumb.
If she like found a 6-pack of like something like higher quality in the store, I would have been like, understandable, have a nice day. But
right.
The fact that it was Stella, like,
Ooh.
what are your standards, lady?
Damn.
It
God.
really is.
To be fair, we have not rated Stella on this podcast. I want to say that anything we have not rated, we technically we have not drank.
Right. However,
But at the same time, Stella can go fuck themselves.
I've had some Stellas in my
the shitty beer, like, at least Coors knows it's shitty beer, so it's like,
Oh yeah,
the taste of the Rockies. Like,
damn good. Like
drink it while you're fishing because you got fuck all else to do while you're fishing. But Stella is like, we are refined. And it's like, no, you're shit like everyone else. Just accept that you're shit like everyone else.
Yeah.
right, there is a certain preconception that they've
Yeah.
created for themselves.
You've seen that Jeff Bridges advertisement that like hints at the Big Lebowski, and then you find out it's a Stella advertisement.
And you're like, the dude would not fucking drink Stella.
yeah, hell no. Oh my god. He does not abide in this situation.
No. That is a misrepresentation of the dude.
So the second piece of brewing news we have is not mentioned in an article, but I was walking through Fry's the other day, and I noticed Jameson is selling 2 different varieties of their classic whiskey. 2 different varieties in that one of them is aged in stout barrels, and one of them is aged in IPA barrels. And that seems to be a sticking point, is that
Wow.
both of them are advertised very heavily as being aged in these beer barrels.
Makes you wonder, are they just recycling these barrels?
I sort of thought to myself, are they just hopping on the trend of
Barrel aged.
and barrel aged in that it's being barrel aged in something other than what it is?
Despite the fact that whiskey is already barrel aged.
Right.
Well,
Now they're barrel
Yeah.
aging whiskey.
yeah, I think it's definitely part of the rise in beer. 10 years ago, you like whiskey would have like by and far been disassociated with beer at all.
Right.
And I think the popularity of beer is speaking in this situation, and that like if we associate ourselves with an IPA or a stout, whatever. And
Now we have the craft beer drinkers.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's definitely related to the popularity of craft beer.
And it's funny because usually a lot of craft beers are like, hey, this was aged in a whiskey barrel, by the way. Like, and one is definitely winning over the other in this situation.
I think it makes more sense to age a beer in a whiskey barrel,
What beer flavor are you going to get out of a whiskey?
right? Jameson is what, 40% at least.
You're not getting any beer flavor out of it.
And if you are, it's so light that why bother?
Put 1 drop of stout in your whiskey and suddenly you have the exact same drink.
Yeah, I think it's just hopping on a trend. It's a bandwagoning effect, right? They must have been getting a lot of their barrels purchased by other brands, and they were like, oh, well, how can we,
What if we capitalized on this?
right?
What if we bought those barrels back after they made beer in them? That's the thing is, to their credit, they're kind of like using these barrels multiple times.
Which is good.
Yeah. But I tend to think these distilleries were already reusing their barrels as many times as they really needed.
Mm-hmm.
That brings up an interesting point, because whiskey gets its color and most of its flavor, or at least as it was told to me, from its barrel. Like if you
Right.
distill whiskey and you don't barrel it, it's clear. It's like vodka, and so they barrel them in the States, and then I think they sell them to the, like companies in the Isles, like Scotland, Ireland, things
Right.
like that, and they're willing to reuse them, but I guess as it was described to me, it's a higher quality whiskey, so it comes out better anyway, or something like that. But regardless, like
To be fair, I have not had either of these whiskeys. I don't know whether these whiskeys taste like they have had a hop additive, or if they've had a malt additive.
I will say I've
but-
had Budweiser Copper, which is Budweiser aged in whiskey barrels, in Jim Beam barrels, and I was like, man, maybe something will make Budweiser interesting. And it was pretty good. It wasn't a Budweiser, but
Right.
there was no whiskey flavor. If you weren't told this was aged in whiskey barrels, you would have no idea.
Right, yeah.
So I wonder how much of that is true, especially with the IPA barrel. Number one, very few IPAs are aged in barrels. That seems like an overwhelmingly stout, like a dark beer kind of thing to age in barrels. I can't imagine a whiskey being aged in a quote IPA barrel, unquote.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. I don't see. I don't.
Yeah.
I've never had whiskey and been like, you know what this needs? Hops. And it's kind of you like whiskey or you don't, and hops is not. Hops is such a flavor that you have to like kind of become used to.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody drinks whiskey and is like, man, if only this had hops in it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think it's a marketing ploy.
Right.
Right.
On to our mystery beers.
Right, yeah.
Close your eyes, gentlemen.
Eyes closed.
No tricks this time. This is all Evil Twin beers.
Thank God. Sean.
I'd like to go home in one piece tonight.
Gotta wait a couple hours.
Yeah.
Here we go. You guys ready for some proof? This is not me uncorking a bottle. This is
Nice.
That's a can.
They're both going to be cans, right? Like
all Evil Twin beers that I have ever seen in my life have been
canned.
canned in 16-ounce cans, being as transparent as possible so nobody suspects me of any funny business.
I mean, okay. The last time you were bartender, it was a fluke.
I agree.
So
I understand.
I'm not gonna hold that against you in this one.
Here's your beers. You're allowed to look at it, smell it, do whatever you want.
Much lighter in appearance
Yeah,
than the
nice.
last two.
That's pretty hoppy and
Cheers.
that one's pretty citrusy.
And really now that hoppy, right?
Yeah.
If this is an IPA, I will be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, I smelt it and I was like, oh,
Smelled it.
another IPA. But then drinking it, I'm like, oh, this is some weird like sour thing or something I'm
Right.
unaware of.
Yeah,
but
it really is very strong on the fruit flavor rather than being hop
Definitely.
flavored. Yeah.
But I will be surprised if this one doesn't have Citra in it.
For full disclosure, I do not know IBU.
Okay.
So what are we guessing?
You are guessing
ABV.
style and you're guessing ABV.
Is that with both beers or just this one?
The next beer, we can guess IBU because I have the IBU on the
Okay.
next one.
All right.
Just not this one. Evil Twin does not have IBUs published on their cans. As such, they're very hard to find online. I was unable to find an IBU on this. And I'll say, knowing what this beer is, I get it, but I would not have guessed this. This is a very interesting beer.
So what are we doing first?
ABV.
Do
probably.
ABV.
Yeah.
ABV. That's hard, but I'd give it at like a 6.0. I know, okay, this is doing it because like last couple we've had by Evil Twin have been deceptively high. Without that information, I'd probably go down to like a 5 or something like that, but 6.0?
I was going to say the exact same thing. I would assume that this beer is higher than I thought because of the last couple beers we've had, and I don't want to be impartial, so I'll say a 5.
7.
Whoa!
Very close, both of you.
7?
7%.
If I'm off by percent, I don't get a point, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's fair.
No.
I thought the rules were that we would give it between a 0.5% and
5
within
IBU.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This does not feel like 7%.
No.
Disguises it well, but there it is. Style for points, just because I don't know IBU. If you had to guess IBU, what would you say?
65. That's a really milquetoast number, but there it is.
30.
I would have guessed 50.
Exactly in between.
You guys are pretty goddamn close.
Yeah. But we don't know.
equally
so
close.
no
but
points.
Equally not as close.
Style.
I'm personally I'm new to this whole style thing.
Mhm.
I don't know, some sort of like wheat ale or something along those lines.
That's a good guess.
Yeah. That's what if I had to throw my hat I am throwing my hat in. That's what it is.
I initially thought kind of a weak Berliner, right?
Mhm.
With more of a wheat forward
Right.
note. And since Jeremy is going with a wheat ale, I'll go with a Berliner.
Both good guesses,
Well,
but who's correct? Neither.
Yeah.
This is now before I reveal anything else, what is the big flavor that you guys get out of this? What's if you had to peg this as something? What do you taste and you're like, this is a blank beer? Like, this is
Pineapple.
very good guess.
I think this is mostly fruit forward. It's hard because a Berliner is not, it's typically sour in some point, and this is not at all sour. But Berliners are typically more fruit forward than hop forward. That's why I suggested a Berliner over a wheat ale. It is some sort of acid fruit.
Yeah.
Is what I would guess.
It's like some sort of canned fruit for me. Like
Yeah,
canned
guys are-
pineapple,
Yeah.
something.
You
I
guys
don't
are killing it.
Oh, Jesus.
This is key lime pie.
Whoa!
Evil Twin.
That's amazing. That's amazing that they've done that.
India Pale Ale. So you're both wrong on style. Sorry.
Yep.
Both wrong on alcohol. India Pale Ale brewed with graham crackers and key lime added. Key lime pie. And when you know that, to me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's key lime. But without knowing that, I could see how you're like, there's a little sour from the key lime where like the instant it hits your tongue, you're like, that's sour. This is a sour beer. Then there's this like weird bitter flavor that kind of rolls over your tongue that adds some of that IPA, but it's still, I would not consider this obviously an IPA.
No, not at all.
It is very sour. It's very light for an IPA, but a little bitter for a sour, I think.
Yeah.
So it is kind of that weird middle ground.
Yeah. That was
That's a perfect mystery beer.
that was a perfect mystery beer.
Yeah.
What a weird one.
I quite enjoyed it.
That's tasty.
I've never had key lime pie, so I don't know about that one. But as both a sour and an IPA, that was really top notch. Like,
Yeah. Knowing that it is a lime flavored, a key lime flavored IPA, I
Yeah.
don't think it has either enough lime flavored or enough IPA flavor. I really think that they chose like a middling direction, and they didn't.
okay.
They're not strong enough in either end, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't drink this and you're like, man, it's an IPA. Like, it's a juicy IPA.
Definitely.
Or you don't taste this and you're like, man, fucking like citrus, at least a citrus flavor.
Yeah.
Like, I got that it's like an acid type fruit,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely.
I just think that like they don't have enough either end of that
Yeah.
to be truly excellent.
Yeah. Now that Sean has pointed it out to me, I'm like, oh yeah, lime. But before that, I don't know. Such is the nature of blind taste testing, though. So who's to say? But
No.
I still like, regardless, I quite enjoyed that as either an IPA or a sour. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Really is kind of between the two, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I had to give this beer a rating, I would give it a 70.
I don't know. Such is the fate of mystery beers, in that I don't really know what to give it because I don't know the authorial intent of the beer. But I'd probably go higher, typical of what I usually rate beers, but a 75.
65.
So 70.
The benevolent.
Ah,
The benevolence has worn off.
Okay.
Okay.
65.
yeah.
It's a fine beer.
There's too much acid and not enough fruit flavor.
I
right?
would order one of these and go, wow, that's an interesting beer, and then never have a second.
There's no graham cracker.
That's insane.
It's really
It's ridiculous to
Yeah.
think that you would get that.
yeah.
now I almost get it, but they need to double or triple their graham cracker quantity on this beer
Yeah.
for it to be really noticeable.
Given what we've given the other beers by Evil Twin, I think 75 is a little high now that I think about it. But again, I rate high. People rate real low. I'm gonna finish this the one low.
To Evil Twin's credit, even though I rate this low for Evil Twin, if ranked against any other beer of its variety, it is quite high. The fact that it ends up around a 70
Yeah.
is impressive.
Yeah.
It is a lower beer on the register, but it's still a 70.
Yeah. Definitely.
If I was making beer and the lowest beer that I made was about a 70 on a 0 to 100 scale, I would be fucking stoked.
Hell yes.
Right? Like,
how happy would you be if you made that beer, Nick?
Right, yeah.
Damn.
And this sort of comes back to my point about presentations in school, right?
Right.
How do you compete with Elderberry and these two darks?
Right.
You don't.
It's insane.
In a vacuum, that beer is quite good.
I guess to play devil's advocate, remember how I confused this with like a wheat style, something along those lines? I can see the graham cracker, like very
Little bit, very subtle.
so subtle that it's almost unnoticeable. But now that they mention it, like there's some sort of weird cinnamony, weedy flavor at the back end of this beer.
And that's exactly what I mean. If they doubled or tripled that, that would be key lime pie.
That would be
right off the bat.
That'd be a key lime pie and B, a Christmas beer in all respects.
Yeah.
Um,
Gentlemen, eyes closed. Last beer.
Last beer of this truly excellent episode.
I am quite looking forward to this. I think this is a very interesting interesting beer. Surprising color.
it's in a can, folks.
Really, other than anything else, I hope it's not 17%.
I'll spoil the surprise and tell you this is not 17%.
No,
Okay.
thank God.
Gentlemen,
Oh,
inspect your
no,
beers.
stop it.
It's dark.
Sean.
Oh,
Gentlemen, cheers. I mean, what do you get right off the bat?
actually, that's a pretty good middle ground between the chocolatey and the coffee flavor that I've had by Evil Twin previously.
Yeah.
I get a really big hit of something that I'm not going to say. Do you guys get something like really big?
That's almost like, what's that cereal that does this really well? Like, obviously, it's a mix between like chocolatey and coffee, but
Mocha.
yeah,
Yeah.
mocha. That's yeah.
That's the flavor.
Jesus Christ.
It's a mix between the
Ugh,
two.
man.
I agree that it is a mix between a coffee and a chocolate stout.
You guys don't get that? There's like, boom, like
Something else?
immediately.
All right, what is it, Sean?
I can't tell you. But right there, like the first flavor is like, holy shit, I'm being hit in the face with blank. Smell it. What does it smell like?
I don't know, Sean. I let that sit in my tongue for at least like 5 seconds, and then I smelt it, and I still think like mocha is the best descriptor I have. This is a red herring for me.
This is hilarious.
You're gonna read the first sentence of that can, and I'm gonna lose it, Sean.
One of these, I think you guys are going to be like, oh, really? And then the other one, you're going to be like, God fucking damn it.
I feel like this tastes like coconut more than anything else.
Okay.
Wow.
I get some coconut. I get that.
Yeah, I see it, but that's not the main thing that's happening on my tongue right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick to my guns and say mocha.
So you have ABV and IBU for this.
I have both.
And style.
And style. So let's start with ABV. Just off the bat, alcohol content. What are you getting? Nick? Sorry.
11.
11%.
Yeah.
No, is that because I fed you 17% beers?
Hell yes. Obviously, because you gave me a 17%.
I'll give it a 9.
9. You said
11.
this is. Jeremy gets the point, 12.8.
12.8. Fuck off, Evil Twin, with these large.
Huge beers.
Okay, that's the closest I've ever
my
been.
God.
I think.
Take the point.
But still,
great.
that is like that. I'm not in that neck of the woods. Like, I'll gladly take the point if you want to give it to me. But goddamn,
12.8. Oh my God.
I think there's 2 things I've learned about Evil Twin today: is that they do good beer and they're really good at hiding alcohol per volume.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
The other one. What's the other one?
IBU.
IBU. Thank you. Oh my God. I'm pretty drunk.
Same.
IBU, Jeremy.
Jesus Christ. The first number that came to mind was a 70, but I'm gonna go down to 65 as my final.
I almost say 70. I'll say 70.
You guys aren't going to fucking believe this. In fact, I don't believe this, so let me double check. 20.
Oh! Oh my god. Edit my response.
Now again, this is
loud.
Evil Twin has not, I don't think, officially released these numbers. It's certainly not printed on the can. So this is what I'm getting online.
This is the community definition of IPA.
Who knows? Before we get style, I want you guys to give me big flavors. So already I've gotten mocha. I've gotten, what'd you say?
Coconut, right?
I said coconut.
You got coconut. Do you guys get any subtle, like, and really I want you to, like, taste the back of your tongue?
He's saying that we're both wrong in this.
That's not what I'm saying necessarily.
Oh, it definitely is what he's saying.
Yeah,
But if you get any subtle flavors, again, I don't want to exclude you, Nick, but if you burp, like if you get a little bit at the back of your tongue, like through your
Peanut
nose,
butter.
what do you get? Peanut butter?
Peanut butter.
Really? Are you being a dick or are you being serious?
But I mean, like,
Okay.
I couldn't name it, but once you said I don't want to exclude you, Nick, I was like, it has to be peanut butter, right?
Nick?
If I had to give any other flavor, it would be marshmallow.
I see marshmallow. I get that. I get a little marshmallow. You're wrong, but I get that. Style.
Porter.
If I'm going to win, I have to go stout, right? I'll go stout.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Number one, this is going to completely give it away. There's the name of the beer.
Yeah, that gives it away.
I mean, you completely know. OFYMD.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there it is, completely.
Yeah.
What else do I need to say?
I don't mean to sound like a complete and utter dumbass here, but I have no idea what that means, Sean.
I don't either.
He's being very sarcastic.
Yeah.
This is an Imperial Stout.
Oh!
Ah! Nick takes a point. It is 12.8%.
12.
Jesus, what did I say?
I'm sorry, 20 IBU. There are two ingredients listed. If you had to guess.
I would guess coconut marshmallow.
Coconut marshmallow, if you had to guess.
Barley and coffee.
Barley, yeast, and hops, right?
That's unfair.
With coconut. Ah!
There you go.
I get, like, right off the bat, big coconut. Like,
Really?
right in the nose. Like, all I can smell, and the first taste is coconut.
I don't see it, but that's fair.
And I get some chocolate, and I get some coffee, and I get all these different flavors. I get a little marshmallow. I wasn't being a dick. I actually, like, you say that, and I'm like, yeah, there's a little bit of that. The other flavor that they list, and when I burp, I'm like, there it is. Pineapple.
Oh, no.
Little bit of pineapple.
No.
Jeremy, burp for me.
I can't on
Okay.
command.
Okay.
I'm like Nick. I'm in the same camp that I can't burp, but
Oh, my God. Like, I swear to God, there's just a hint. When you burp this beer, there's just a little bit of pineapple flavor. It's almost like a, what are they called? What are those drinks? The mixed drinks? Holy shit. Pineapple, coconut, rum. Oh, my God.
Tropical Tuesday drinks.
I don't get a lot of mixed drinks, Sean.
Yeah.
No, like the drink.
I don't know.
Time?
It's a Sobe flavor. Fucking Christ.
I don't drink Sobe at all.
Are you in high school? Sobe?
No, I was.
Sure, we all were in high school at
We're
one
21,
point,
Sean.
Oh,
or
my
more.
God. No, pina colada.
Pina
Fuck
colada.
you, my. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's some pina colada in this. I get some pina colada in this because I know what's in it.
I actually haven't taken a sip of this for like at least like 3 minutes. Yeah, there's a coconut thing in there. Like very subtle. Like if I drank this again, I'd say no, it's bullshit. But because I haven't, yeah.
That's funny.
Coconut.
To me, as soon as and I knew what this was, but as soon as I drank this, I was like, "That's coconut,
Okay,
100%."
Maybe
that's it.
that's an ethnic difference because I'm like
I'm white.
I've been to the Philippines.
No.
I've drinking from raw coconuts and shit like that. Coconut rum.
I mean,
Holy crap.
I've had coconuts and coconut rum. But I'm the color of the inside of a coconut. You're the color of the outside.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So we
That's
have
a-
different.
I think that there is coconut flavor. I think that there is very literally zero pineapple flavor in this.
And it's literally like when I burp. It's like the very aftertaste of this is pineapple.
I agree with that.
they could have doubled the amount of pineapple in this.
Well,
Because
why would you have so little pineapple in a beer that the only time when you taste it is after a burp?
Yeah.
Right.
That is so auxiliary that it doesn't even matter. Why would you put it on the can?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree with Sean in that, like, drinking this, I can't burp very often, but drinking this, I'm like, well, what's in an Imperial Stout? Well, like coffee or chocolate. It's one of those. But then, like, there's a subtle, like, pineapple, just because there's, like, an acidic-y, very barely fruity flavor in it, but not coconut, but definitely pineapple. It's a hard call.
I really think that I'm torn on this beer. There's half of this beer that I really love, and half of this beer that I either don't understand or don't like. And for that reason, I'll give it a 65. I'm not too much of a fan of it. I think that it splits itself between two different flavors, and it ends up not being that great in either end.
I'd rate it lower on the dark beer standard for myself. Probably a 60, but 65 is a fair judgment as well. But I'm going to stick with my guns and say 60. Sean?
65. Good beer.
Yeah.
Not a great beer, but a very good beer.
Well, yeah, and if we hadn't had that the Big Ass and the Bozo before this, we would have rated it higher than what we have now. It's really not that great.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of middling.
If we did this beer on the dark beer episode, like, it'd be on the higher end. But
Right. Yeah.
for the Evil Twin episode, I
It's
don't
up
know.
against some good beers.
Yeah.
I feel like 65 is pretty appropriate regardless. I think
Okay.
if you like dark beers, this isn't super chocolatey. This isn't ridiculous like some of these other stouts that we've had today. This isn't really bland like some of the other stouts. This is pretty middle of the road. It's got some good pronounced flavor without being in your face.
Yeah. That potato stout or whatever the hell I said. Yeah, it's definitely more unique than that one. So I don't know where that stands, but I still enjoyed this one as a dark beer and stuff, but I've definitely had more intense ones given this episode.
Right.
Yeah. Whew.
This has been a hell of an episode.
Yeah.
These are some
It has.
great beers.
I really think that Evil Twin stands up against the best breweries in the country, at least as far as this episode goes.
Right.
The 10 beers or the 8 beers that you got were all good. I think that if we had an episode about IPAs or we had an episode about sours or stouts or porters, all of them would hold up
Right. Exactly.
against anybody.
Yeah.
Kind of omni style. Right.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy and I were talking about this, that their range is so wide, right? The fact that they can make a super great sour or at least a good IPA and then an excellent
Right.
stout or a porter is
Really big stouts,
Oh,
very good IPAs, an exceptional sour,
Right.
an excellent sour by any standard.
Yeah.
All great beers. Check out Evil Twin Brewing.
for sure. Recommended.
Yeah.
Anytime you see them in a bottle shop, grab a can.
What do we have for next episode?
Next episode is best cigar beers.
That's fine with me.
Looking forward to that. Love a cigar.
Yeah.
Love a good beer to go with a cigar. The beers we're having.
Next six pack.
Cigar beers. You guys ready?
I'm
yes,
ready.
please.
Oh, I see a bottle
You see
cap.
a yellow cap. Yellow cap is danger.
No, not a yellow cap, a light green cap.
I'm colorblind.
With potentially an exclamation point on it with a shark.
The shape of a dogfish.
Okay, this has been the first time I've seen a titanium white bottle cap in my life, so I don't know what's going on.
I wouldn't worry about that too much.
Okay.
Next episode.
Here we go. Cigar beers. Next episode. Grab some of these beers, grab a cigar, hang out, listen to us, enjoy. Next time we're having Tombstone Brewing Company Imperial Stout. Port Brewing Company Santa's Little Helper Imperial Stout with coffee and cacao. Odell Brewing Company Bullproof Bourbon Barrel Stout. Founders Dank Wood Imperial Red India Pale Ale aged in bourbon barrels.
Dank.
Boulevard
Oh,
The
both
Calling
are.
IPA, double IPA.
And then.
And lastly,
Eh.
Dogfish Head Oak Aged Vanilla Worldwide Stout. Cigar beers, grab a cigar, grab a beer.
Yeah.
Any of the ones we just mentioned. Have a beer with us. Have a smoke with us.
Yeah.
Have a
who
good time.
cares?
Yeah. This has been Beer Right Back on our Evil Twin Brewing Company episode.
The Lounge Beer Podcast.
Have a good night.
Drive safe.